It's a big one. 14 games on Monday. Let's preview them all. Michael Bolton.
Thanks, Josh. It's Michael Bolton here, and it's time for another episode of the Locked On Fantasy Basketball Podcast. Let's get to it.
Let's get to it, indeed.
You are Locked On Fantasy, your daily NBA fantasy podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello and welcome to the Locked On Fantasy Basketball Podcast, brought to you by Basketball Monster. My name is Josh Lloyd and I'm going to leave no crumbs. I'm also the lead fantasy analyst at basketballmonster.com, and you can find me on Blue Sky at joshloyd.bsky.social, on Twitter at redrock_bball, on TikTok at redrock_bball, and on Instagram at Locked On Fantasy Basketball. The NFL playoffs are almost here, but it is not too late to get in on the regular season action with FanDuel, because new customers can get $250 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet. Go to FanDuel.com to get started. Also, LockedOnDaily.com, and you can sign up for the best newsletter for your favorite NBA team. Go ahead. Oh, this is why with this graphic come up. I don't want you to subscribe. I don't want thumbs. I don't want comments. Don't stop. Get it off. Get off the screen. Don't want it. I don't want it. Get out of here. Good. Done. Don't do any of that stuff. Don't do it. It's pointless and it just irritates me. Let's talk about the games on Monday. This is an incredibly busy day. 14 games on Monday. So I am going to list names of streaming options for each game, but let's be fair, you're not doing it, right? You're not going to stream in majority of cases. This will be for the occasional format where it does make sense for you to add somebody, but not everyone. You've got 14 games Monday and 0 games on Tuesday. Remember that. So we've got a couple of days of weirdness in terms of no streaming. We're mainly using this show not to really look at streaming options. It's more just a sort of a preview of what to expect and who's in and who's out and who might pop off and all that sort of stuff. The things that we're watching for, which is why we do that. So what's on my radar? First game, CelticsMagic. We already got the news and we already talked about it earlier on in the show about Moe Wagner's season-ending ACL injury. There's a lot of people who think this is going to have a gigantic impact in standard leagues. I don't think it will. He was a 19-minute-a-night reserve center. What it does, as I said on the show, what it does do is it just keeps the floor of Goga Bitadze and Wendell Carter much higher. Wendell is still playing his 27 minutes a night now, and maybe he gets 1 or 2 extra, but I'm not sure that he does. Goga's value in the floor just rises up. It stays at like 26 as a floor, and maybe he gets 31, 32. The name to watch there is going to be Cole Anthony, because if they do need someone to generate a single shot, which they have nobody, it might have to be him. The schedule stuff here, Boston is a Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday team into 4 the week after. And Orlando is Monday, Thursday, Friday, Sunday, into 3 the week after that. Sam Hauser is questionable for the Celtics. He's been dealing with this back problem for quite a while now. So yeah, if he is out, the minutes just seem to just disappear into a bunch of different other players, random, we got 19 Luke Cornett minutes last game, but that doesn't necessarily mean that happens. Or Jaden Springer will play. It's just not really anything actionable. For the Magic, of course, Moe Wagner is out, Paulo Banchero is out, Franz Wagner is out. The two we don't know about are Sammy Hauser. He's the wrong team. We don't know about Jalen Suggs, and we don't know about Gary Harris. Suggs and Harris are both officially questionable now. Harris has missed weeks with his hamstring injury, and that is a problem with Harris. He always has those sort of problems. And Suggs was probable in the last game and then, of course, sat out because why wouldn't he? And the absence of both of those players would really, really boost Cole Anthony up. But we know there's inconsistency with all these guards. What are we watching for on the Celtics? Payton Pritchard. The last game wasn't particularly good from Pritchard, but he's been awesome and he's getting 30 minutes a night. And 30 minutes a night continues to be great. And then on the Magic, it is Cole Anthony. That is what I want to watch because what did he play? 28 minutes last game? With no Suggs, with no Harris, and then with no Moe Wagner. And obviously different positions for Mo, but it's about getting those shots. So I don't hate an ad of Cole just to see what happens, but it could also be Mr. Black. They could throw in Trevelyan Queen. It could be just more KCP. And if Suggs plays, maybe Anthony's completely useless. We don't know. And it's going to be frustrating. In terms of stream guys, I've got Al Horford there on the Celtics, who's not a must-roster player. And then Wendell Carter is the stream guy on the Magic. Totally okay to roster him. He still is a very low upside player. And I don't think that the minutes change sizably. The other guy that's really going to benefit here is Tristan da Silva because they just need forward-sized bodies. And he's been really good the last 2 games. I still don't think it's a 12-team league player. It's more of a 14-team guy. But his appeal as a 12-team streamer, da Silva, is definitely increased. The second game that we take a look at, we go in now to look at the old... who is it? It's the Jazz. It's the Cavs. Utah, a team that's obviously pretty tough to figure out. They play Monday, Thursday, Saturday this week into 4 games the week after, whereas Cleveland's a 2-game week. They go Monday, Friday into 4 the week after. Keontae George missed the last game for the Jazz. He is officially questionable now for this game on Monday. And then Isaac Okoro is out for the Cavs. Sam Merrill is dealing with, I think it's a quad issue that he's currently dealing with. He is officially questionable there as well. And Max Strus is off the injury report, ready to go after he sat out the game on Saturday as the back-to-back. And this will be his, second game back? Yeah, this will be Strus' second game back. So that's one of the things I want to watch. I don't believe that Strus is a must-roster player with guys like Wade, Merrill, LeVert, Milk, Ty Jerome. There's just too many guys that can sort of take those minutes and take that role at times. And Strus' value... Yeah, he needed 34 minutes a night to just touch the fringes of 12s. That's not interesting to me. And then on the Jazz, the last 2 games from Collin Sexton have been huge. But of course, one of those games, Jordan Clarkson was ejected after 13 minutes, and the other one, Keontae George didn't play. And Sexton had been trending down hard. Will he be down hard again? I don't know. He could, and I think he probably will be, but we do have to watch it. Jordan Clarkson remains a stream guy. He's not someone you care about or that you want to hold on to or that you feel particularly good about. But he's always got the ability to pop off. And then on the Cavs, does it in different ways, but Karis LeVert's the same. You don't have any confidence in LeVert on a game-by-game basis, but he could play 27, he could play 21, he could shoot 80%, he could shoot 8%. That is what he is. And that's always useful for a stream guy because he can accumulate, but he could also just kill you. And it is a tough one to make, a tough decision to make with someone like Karis LeVert. Spurs and the Sixers is the next game up. We're in Philadelphia here. Not both of these teams, actually. Both these teams play Christmas. But San Antonio is a Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday game. Sunday team with 3 games the week after. And the Sixers are Monday, Wednesday, Saturday into 4 games the week after. The only current injuries here, Ricky Council IV is dealing with a calf issue, I think it is. He was sort of pushing up with minutes, not enough to matter for most 12 teamers. And Caleb Martin is back. For Council. Caleb Martin is back. And then Joel Embiid sat the last game due to a back-to-back. He'll be available and ready to go. And then their next back-to-back, the Sixers, is not until the 2nd of January. So we've got a little bit of time there. What am I watching for on the Spurs? Devin Vassell, who last game, it was just a gigantic blowout. So we saw minutes sort of depressed across the board, not because they got cooked, but because they killed the Blazers for the majority of that game. So we got 23 minutes of Vassell and 24 minutes of Sohan and under 30 minutes of Wemby, who, by the way, is cooking. It is going to be so funny to me if Wemby ends up as the number 1 ranked player at the end of this season because all of the hand-wringing to begin this season. I don't know if he will, but 10 blocks last game in under 30 minutes. I know it was against Portland, but anyway. We want to watch Devin Vassell and assuming those minutes push back up. And then Paul George. It just continues to be a really frustrating season. I don't think Paul George is washed, but I think one of the things that I probably didn't take enough into consideration is when you change teams, it does cause an impact. And I probably didn't factor that in enough for George, who's just been bad. It's not even injury-related necessarily. It's just bad. He just can't shoot. And that often happens in a new team environment, and probably didn't factor that in enough. Who am I streaming in? Well, honestly, Charles Bassey has, and this is under the radar, and I know the double Onyxes. I know you guys are going to know about this. But Charles Bassey's taken over the backup center spot over Zach Collins for now. Collins is allegedly healthy. He's not on the injury report, but Bassey's the backup center. Collins has not played either of the last 2 games. And Chuck has played 7 and then 18. And he doubled last game. Now, he's not going to do that every game, but he's the backup now. And that is really important. For the Sixers, the stream is probably Caleb Martin. Now, if Kelly Oubre is available, he's the guy. Martin played 29 minutes in his first game back, but it could be him, it could be KJ Martin, it could be Ricky Council. Eric Gordon is going to be out. That is actually a late addition to this injury report. Well, not late. It was late as in after I did this graphic. But Eric Gordon won't play, so that does help further guys like Kyle Lowry and even a little bit of a boost to someone like a Kelly Oubre or a Caleb Martin in that spot. We're going to come back and talk about the remaining million games that are on. There's 11 more of them. Before we get there, though, today's episode is brought to you by the Skylight Frame. Christmas, it can be hard to find gifts for people, especially when guys might have a bunch of distance between you. A Skylight Frame is a fantastic gift. It's so easy to set up. It is a digital touchscreen HD photo frame. It gets set up in under 60 seconds. There's an app that you download on your phone, and then you just put your photos and just transfer them onto the frame, and bang, there they are. It can be put on a mantle, a ledge, on a wall that can hang. 2 different sizes, a 10 and a 15 incher for the Skylight Frame, of course. And it is just such a perfect gift for family. You can send it to them, and then they can distribute a link, and people can sign up to the app, or they can just email photos to its dedicated email address for your frame. The photos come in, you approve them, you deny them if someone sends something a little bit inappropriate or saucy maybe. You don't want that on your photo frame, but they can just be sharing photos all over the country, all over the world. And Skylight Frames are giving you a limited time offer, $20 off your Skylight Frame when you go to skylightframe.com/NBA. That is SKYLIGHTFRAME.com/NBA. $20 off your purchase now at skylightframe.com/NBA. All right, let's go on to the next game. We're talking about the Houston Rockets and the Charlotte Hornets here. We're in Charlotte for this one. This is a back-to-back for Houston, and then they go Monday, Thursday, Friday, Sunday into 3 games the week after. Charlotte is a Monday, Thursday, Saturday team into 3 games the week after that. Steven Adams is not on the injury report for Sunday, therefore I'm very certain he's not going to play on Monday. Tari Eason is out on Sunday, so I'll put him as questionable for Monday's game. Trey Mann's going to be out for Charlotte, but we don't know about Brandon Miller. They didn't play Saturday or Sunday. He missed the games prior to that, so I'll put him questionable. But both LaMelo Ball and Mark Williams sat the last game for Charlotte on the second half of a back-to-back, so I've got no hesitation in saying they're going to be available and ready to play on Monday. So I am watching Mark Williams. That's probably the big focus for me for Charlotte because he's looking good. Is this the game, though, he gets over 20 minutes? I think it might be. We've seen he pushed, 19 minutes last game. Very clearly the better center there over Nick Richards, I think, and very clearly the better center in the Hornets' eyes, which is the most important part of it. And we just keep watching and seeing where this goes. Dylan Brooks is nearly always going to be the stream guy on Houston, especially if Eason is out and he remains that here. And then Cody Martin is probably the Hornets guy. That will increase if Brandon Miller is out. You could also throw Seth Curry into that mix if Miller is sidelined. The Toronto Raptors and the New York Knicks, the Andrea Bargnani Bowl. Up here, this is a back-to-back for Toronto. Monday, Thursday, Sunday for Toronto this week in Week 10 and then 3 games in Week 11, whereas the Knicks are a Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday team into 4 games in Week 11. Emmanuel Quickley is going to be out. Bruce Brown, I don't expect to play. I also don't know about Jakob Poeltl. Now, Poeltl is sitting on Sunday, so I'll put him questionable for Monday. The other thing is that RJ Barrett was ruled in for Sunday, and now he's out. So I don't have Barrett next. I thought he's fine. He's ready to go with his illness, but he's out on Sunday. So we'll put him as questionable for Monday. And then for the Knicks, it's just Mitchie Robinson, who is currently out. So on the Knicks, Jalen Brunson, I'm always just watching where the usage sits between him and Cat, because last time, Cat's minutes were way down. And Brunson's minutes were fine. And then Brunson's minutes might drop, and usage, it's all over the place, which is not something you can usually say about Tom Thibodeau. It's usually every player plays 38 minutes if you're a starter. But Brunson's, I actually think he's carrying some, not serious injuries, but I think he's carrying injuries, and that is why there's fluctuation. So we just keep watching that. In terms of streams, Ochai Agbaji is probably the best Raptors option there, but there are so many moving parts and pieces here. What if Brown plays and Barrett plays and Poeltl plays? Or what if they're all out? Yeah, you've got Gary Trent III there. You've got Davion Mitchell's in on Sunday, but maybe he's out on Monday. I assume Barnes plays both games, but maybe he doesn't due to the back-to-back. There's a lot of different options there. So I've got Agbaji there, and then I've got former Raptor for the Knicks, Precious Achiuwa. We saw Achiuwa get it's 19 minutes-ish around that mark, and I think you'll get that most nights. While Juice McBride sort of got deprioritized and actually used a little bit more Jericho Sims in the last game also. So we just keep an eye on that. And yeah, I don't love Achiuwa as a 12-team stream guy, but he's more of a deeper league option. The next game is the Minnesota Timberwolves and the Atlanta Hawks. We go to Atlanta. Last time we saw Atlanta, there was no Trae Young, so that's something to monitor. Both teams have 4 games this week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday. Minnesota into 3 games the week after, whereas Atlanta's a Monday, Thursday, Saturday. I wrote Saturday, but it's Saturday, Sunday, into 4 games the week after. Joe Ingles is doubtful, but doesn't matter. And then Onyeka Okongwu will be out for Atlanta. And then Trae Young, I'm going to list him as questionable. I think he'll be okay, but we'll put him as questionable. Interestingly, in Minnesota, the last 2 games, Donte DiVincenzo's production is up. And minutes are up. If he gets to 27 again, I'm way more interested. If you wanted to get ahead of it, because it is trending, you can do that now. And then for the Hawks, Dyson Daniels is playing time, sort of trending the other way. I'm not saying that we drop him, and his game was pretty good. But it is interesting to watch where those minutes go. In terms of streams, well, this is the Minnesota version of Dylan Brooks, isn't it? Jaden McDaniels is always going to be on this list, and he's never going to be someone we must hold or must roster. And then for the Hawks, Larry Nance. I think we grab him in the short term. He's had 2 awesome games, and like I detailed on the Waiver Wire show, he's done it through non-Larry Nance means, and that gives me skepticism. But Capella's been under 20 minutes. Nance has been over 24. I don't know why would they be DNPing Larry Nance in other games and giving Capella more minutes than Okongwu only for Capella to play under 20 so Nance can play more. I don't get it, but sometimes there's a lot of things about coaching that I don't get, obviously. The Brooklyn Nets go to take on the Miami Heat. They're going down to Miami before Christmas. The Nets go Monday, Thursday, Friday, Sunday into 3 games the week after. Miami is a Monday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday into 3 games. And there's a lot of players out here. Bojan Bogdanovic, Trendon Watford, Cam Thomas, Zaire Williams. I'm expecting all those guys to be out. Dorian Finney-Smith missed the last game for the Nets, and that meant that Noah Clowney started. Finney-Smith is officially questionable for here, so we're going to watch exactly what happens with Clowney. Joshie Richardson is out for Miami. Jimmy Butler dealing with an illness / ankle / whatever else he's dealing with. He's questionable, while Kevin Love is probable. So, of course, on the Nets, it is Noah Clowney because we've got 30 minutes from him in 2 games in a row. One of them with a Claxton ejection, one of them with a Finney-Smith injury. And we've been calling out for, and I wanted them to just say, hey, let's just start Clowney from day one and see what happens. But they didn't do that. But even earlier on, they put him out of the rotation. He wouldn't start when players were injured, but now he is. And that's really interesting. So is he going to carve out 25 a night irrespective of injuries? Is it only going to be when someone's out that he pushes high? Because if he gets like 25 again here, Clowney, I add him. Because I think they'll just keep going up and up and up. For Miami, I put Duncan Robinson as a name to watch, but it's just a placeholder name for Duncan Robinson, Terry Rozier, Jaime Jaquez, Pele Larson, Drew Smith, any of these blokes, because the minutes are all over the shop. And also, we are on full Haywood Highsmith watch. This is the game where we get 0 minutes Haywood Highsmith, I believe. You know, we talk about the Haywood Highsmith trajectory. 28, 28, 28, 24, 21, 22, 15, 10, 8, 0. That's what's going to happen. He lost the starting spot last game. He played 7 bench minutes. We are really close to the 0-minute Haywood Highsmith game. And then, in a week, he'll push back up. That is what happens. Who are we streaming? Well, we're streaming Ben Simmons, but we're just rostering Ben Simmons. He's just a must-roster player. And then for the Heat, Drew Smith continues to get really good minutes. He started last game with Jimmy Butler out, which was really interesting. He is just more of a steals specialist type of player who can shoot okay, but it's really getting carried by the steals. But for now, he can be used in 14-team leagues, maybe not 12s, but I'm not going to fully rule that out. The Bucks and the Bulls. We're in Chicago for this game. Both these teams have got 3 games, Monday, Thursday, Saturday for the Bucks. Same for the Bulls, and then both teams play 3 games in Week 11. Damian Lillard's missed 2 games in a row, and now he is doubtful for a third. That's not great with a calf strain for an old fart. So we keep an eye on that one, while Giannis missed the last game, which I'm almost certain was due to the fact that it was against the Wizards. So I'm actually thinking he's going to be okay to play here. Chris Livingston's questionable. He's played about 1 minute all season. I thought he might actually carve out a role, but Doc said, no, you're way too young. What are you doing? I'm doing the reverse Drake. Is that what they call it these days? I don't know. I'm only going for older people. And then we go to the Bulls where Josh Giddey, actually no, Chris Middleton. They said he's probable for rest, which is the dumbest designation I've ever heard. It's not a back-to-back. You either know that he's resting or you're not. What is the point of putting probable on Chris Middleton? Anyway, stupid. For the Bulls, Josh Giddey missed the last couple of games. He said he might be a chance to return Monday, which was always why it was insane that he was listed questionable Saturday. It made no sense. But they did it. And yeah, he could return here, and Torrey Craig also could return, and I'm sure nobody cares. For the Bucks, we actually got a really big game from Chris Middleton last time out, and I know it doesn't alleviate all the pain of all the waiting, of all the nonsense of Middleton, but just gave you a glimpse into okay, that's why. Now, we hope that he can do it more often. We hope that we push those minutes up more, but that was very good, and we just keep watching that. For the Bulls, Ayo Dosunmu, 10% usage last game. The minutes are fine, but you know my hesitation with him. I don't think he's fantastically good player in real life, and that's okay. But for fantasy, he needs 3 things. Does he? Yeah, he needs 35 minutes, and he needs to shoot like 51% from the field. And when your usage is that low, that is just, it is really hard to do that consistently. And with Giddey coming back, I will guess that he goes to the bench, and then people will decide whether they drop him or not. I just think his upside's always really limited, but we see. In terms of stream guys, with Lillard out, Ryan Rollins was pretty good last game. He's always going to be big on steals. He's also good at generating defensive stats in fantasy, and occasionally can get some assists and some threes. He's not going to be a high-end guy, but he's someone to watch. And then Pat Williams had a good game last game. I refuse to get into it. I refuse to get bought in. He's only playing 22 a night, but he's at least streamable here as a starter-level player. We'll come back, cover off the rest of the games, but if you are a renter, you're going to want to listen up because Built Rewards is here. Built Rewards is a game changer for people who are renting, and what Built does enables you to earn points on rent payments like you do with just so many other different things. With Built, you pay your rent and you just accumulate points. You can do it on everyday spending as well, and then you can use those points for flights and hotel stays or even future rent payments. 500 airlines, 700,000 hotels, unique experiences, all of that is available in the Built Rewards point program. So start earning points on rent that you've already paying by going to joinbuilt.com/lockedonnba. That is joinbuilt.com/lockedonnba to make sure to use our link so that they know that we sent you. Don't wait, start earning rewards today. Today's episode is also brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook, and while the NFL playoffs are almost here, your ability to cash in is still there with the regular season. And if you win your first $5 bet on FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, you'll get $250 in bonus bets guaranteed. So many ways to do it. Who's going to score a touchdown? How many points is each individual team going to score? What about the over-under for the total game? What about the straight money lines, the spreads, the individual player props, receiving yards and passing yards and NFL awards? It's all over there on FanDuel.com. So go to FanDuel.com and join today. That is FanDuel.com for your chance at $250 in bonus bets. Make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. And don't forget to gamble responsibly. All right, let's go through the rest of these games as I'm joined by Obi now for this this portion of the show. Don't know why he decided he wanted to come in, but here he is. We're ready to get through. How many games have we knocked off now? That is 8 games done, 6 to go. Wizards and Thunder is the next game, and this has got real sort of blowout potential written all over it, of course, in terms of the minutes and how things get distributed for Oklahoma City. We've got the Wizards playing Monday, Thursday, Saturday into 4 games the week after. The Thunder are a Monday, Thursday, Friday, Sunday team into 4 games as well. The big one there for Wizards is going to be Kyle Kuzma, who just hasn't played in weeks, and his return will probably fully kill off Passion Pop Justin Champagny. For the Thunder, Chet Holmgren and Pig Williams are both out. I want to watch Alex Sarr because they're playing him 30-plus minutes at the moment, and his production's starting to get better. I'm not going to fully say that it's fixed or his shooting's good or anything like that, but he is playing better. So that's important. And I do want to watch Lou Dort, who remains a stream guy. I don't think we're going to get any level of consistency or anything like that, but he's just a name to watch. And then Malcolm Brogdon is the Wizards stream guy. As expected, he started over Bub Carrington last game. Of course, the Wizards are going to wizard, so he did that, and he remains streamable until he's not. And Kaysen Wallace is the stream guy, I think, on the Thunder, if Dort's not available, that is, but hard to look at Wallace, the Hong Kong mattress, as a must-roster guy at this point. The Clippers and the Grizzlies, the next game for us up, and I wish, actually, what we did just get is Brandon Miller is officially out for the Hornets on Monday, so there you go. Out again with that ankle problem. Clippers and Grizzlies, this one. The Clippers only have 2 games, Monday, Friday, into 4 the week after, and Memphis is Monday, Thursday, Friday, Sunday, into 3. Kawhi, Terrence Mann, Kobe Brown are all out. Vince Williams and G.G. Jackson are out. The big question mark in this one, though, is just going to be about Ja Morant, who missed the last game with a back problem, and then Marcus Smart left that same game with a, who knows? I don't know. You know what? I just can't keep up with Marcus Smart. Finger, maybe? He's questionable too. And then Jay Huff dealing with an injury also. On the Clippers side of things, Kevin Porter Jr., minutes were up, but his game log is confusing. It's like 24, 19, 27. They did shorten the rotation in the last game, so they cut Jordan Miller out. So it would be interesting to watch with Kevin Porter. Now, I wouldn't recommend adding him for a 14-game day, but if he's playing 27 a night, Kevin Porter, that is interesting. But of course, there are plenty of players here who are going to come back, and that will kill him off. For the Grizzlies, Zach Edey, a little bit of the Yves Messi issue for me, where he started and the minutes were okay, but like very mid. He's not touching anywhere near that usage he had in college, and that's no surprise. He's not blocking shots at a huge level, and he doesn't do anything else. He's fine. Maybe he's the rookie of the year, actually. He probably is. But he's just mid. So we just want to keep watching Zach Edey and the role and the playing time and see if we get anything changing in that respect. In terms of streams, Chris Dunn actually played 33 minutes last game. I don't know that that's a real thing, but he did. And 33 minutes of Chris Dunn is 100% a 12-team league player. And then on the Grizzlies side of things, Brandon Clark is a name for us to watch. Just as a stream guy, it's not particularly interesting now that Edey is starting, but yeah, he's there and he's available in a lot of leagues. Okay, let's go to the next one. It is the Portland Trailblazers and the Dallas Mavericks. We just actually got the Blazers injury report, so that was great news there. Portland, Monday, Thursday, Saturday team into 3 the week after. Dallas, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. and Saturday into 3 games the week after. Matisse Thybulle is out and Delano Banton is officially questionable. While Dante Exum is out for Dallas, we don't have the update on Dallas in terms of Luka Doncic, who's missed 2 in a row now. So I'll put him as questionable. And Jaden Hardy, I believe, is questionable as well. But that doesn't really matter as much because it's Quentin Grimes and Spencer Dinwiddie who are getting the bump. For the Blazers, I want to watch DeAndre Ayton, but that's really just talking about the centers in general. Because he's playing 30-plus minutes here, Ayton, and that means Klingon and Williams have got nothing to do. And that's important for us to pay attention to because it turns those other guys into long-term stashes, hoping on an injury or a trade. And that is a tough one to deal with. For the Mavs, again, we're watching the centers. Is it Dan Gafford and Derek Lively? Because Gafford was fine enough in 18 minutes, but I just don't think it's enough in terms of long-term long-term value of where Gafford sits. It's hard to know on a game-by-game, but I'd like him to be getting 20 a night regularly to be able to do that. In terms of stream guys, Tamani Kamara has moved from a 28-minute guy to a 32-minute guy. That might not hold, but it is at the moment, so that makes him at least streamable. And then Najee Marshall's probably the Mavs guy. Although, if Luka is out, then Dinwiddie and Grimes definitely jump to the top of that list. We just don't know that at this point. The next game is the Suns and the Nuggets. This is a weird one. Why are they playing on Monday and then also playing on Christmas Day? That makes no sense to me at all. Like, why would you schedule one of your Christmas Day games to happen 2 days before? I don't know. Phoenix plays Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. So do Denver. But Phoenix has 3 games in Week 11 and Denver has 4. Devin Booker's not going to play. I'm almost certain of that. Grayson Allen, I don't have the official update, but he was in the concussion protocol. So I think he's probably unlikely to be available. So I've got him as a questionable / doubtful. Bol apparently missed the last game. You wouldn't know it because he doesn't play anyway. And then Vlatko Čančar's out for the Nuggets, while Dario Saric is still dealing with his ankle problem. So I'll put him as questionable. Jusuf Nurkic in the center rotation in Phoenix is one of those things that's interesting. He can play 30 minutes, he can play 25 minutes, he can play 21 minutes. And last game we actually got 22 Mason Plumlee minutes after he played 6 the game before that. So it's a little bit up in the air. Nurkic, we are still rostering him, but bloody hell, it's a battle, isn't it? For Denver, they're on a back-to-back, so they're playing both those games. I don't think Aaron Gordon sits, but he could. And Christian Brown's also dealing with a back problem, so we need to watch that one. In terms of stream guys, Royce O'Neal with the Booker out and Allen probably out scenario, then Royce O'Neal is a very good stream guy there. And then for Denver, it is Peyton Watson, assuming that Brown and Westbrook haven't been rostered because they would be the guys that I'd be looking at to prioritize. The Pacers and the Warriors. We actually just got a Memphis Grizzlies update. There we go. That's good news. So we got the Grizzlies injury report there. Ja Morant didn't travel with the team, but he's not on the injury report, so he's available to play. Marcus Smart, Jay Huff are out for Memphis. We also got a Denver injury report as well that just came through where Christian Brown is playing on Sunday and Dario Saric is available. So that obviously increases the likelihood that they're going to be available to play on Monday. Also, Jay Huff was ruled out from Memphis. Didn't say that. And Marcus Smart was ruled out too. Did I even say that? Maybe not. Huff and Smart both out for the Grizzlies. We're talking Pacers-Warriors. This is a back-to-back game for Indiana. They're a Monday, Thursday, Friday, Sunday team into 3 games week 11. The Warriors are Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday into 4 games. Aaron Nesmith, I'm going to guess, is out. And the big one is going to be Draymond Green, who I'm putting as questionable. He missed the last game, and that meant that the rotation shuffled again. And that might stay the same for the foreseeable future. And Moses Moody, questionable as well. Trayce Jackson-Davis started with Draymond out, not Looney. He posted a huge game, but I have no confidence at all in it. If you wanted to get out ahead of it and think maybe Jackson Davis is the guy they want to lean into, which they should, well, you can go and add him. But he also was like on the way out, he was Hayward Highsmithing. He was basically out of the rotation. So bear with it and see where it goes, but like obviously way more upside in him than Looney. In terms of streams, Andy Nembhard looks like the best Pacers guy out there. And then Looney would be an interesting stream, but who knows? And obviously, yeah, if Jackson Davis or Pajemski or Hield or Kuminga, they're all better stream guys than what Looney is. They're just rostered in most spots. The final game of the day is the Detroit Pistons up against the Los Angeles Lakers. We're in LA for this one. Both teams are 3-gamers. Monday, Thursday, Saturday, Detroit into 3 games the week after. The Lakers are Monday, Wednesday, Saturday into 4 games the week after. Isaiah Stewart, I'm predicting, is going to be out. Same with Christian Wood, Jackson Hayes, Jared Vanderbilt-Bar. And then we've got a questionable tag maybe, but it doesn't matter, on Jalen Hood-Schifino. Last game, Jaden Ivey was excellent. Retook his starting spot over Asar Thompson and posted big assists and scored well and was great. Do I trust it? Not really. Not really. But we watch it. And then we also got big minutes in a big game from D'Angelo Russell. We back to this part of the program. Go and add D'Angelo Russell. He scored well. He played big minutes. They're taking Dalton Connect out of the rotation. Cool. They probably also can't believe that 16 teams also let him fall to pick 17. Unbelievable stuff. But D'Angelo Russell, like, now that we're back to this, like, we go for, like, it's just so hard to trust after 3 benchings in 18 months that he's going to stay in that role, but who knows? Who knows? Leaky Beasley still is the premier stream guy for the Pistons, even though he's coming off the bench, and there's way ahead of Vassell Thompson, who's, again, just back to no minutes, even though there's some foul trouble problems there too. I just don't think that they are looking to give him 25 a night, unfortunately. And then Max Christie is probably the stream guy. I would actually stream Rui Hachimura over Max Christie for the Lakers if Rui was available, but because people are crazy, Rui's rostered in too many leagues. And that's it. That's 14 games. We're not doing a stream of the day with 14 games on because you're not really doing anything like that. And then we'll do something on Christmas to preview the Christmas Day games, of course, and get ready for all of that action. We'll be back later on with an absolute ball-bursting monster. No, we won't. It's actually only a 3-game recap. That's tomorrow, the 14-game. 3-game recap today. That's kind of still going to be good, though. So go ahead and get ready for that one to come out later in the day, and you guys know what to do. Don't touch this video. Oh, no, that's not right. You can't say that. Don't touch this video, but make sure you're doing something good. Make sure you're focusing on the things that you've done good already, because you know there's something good you've done. We all do something good every day. Don't get dragged down by external nonsense. Guys, we are done here. Thank you so much for listening, everyone. See ya.